member of the class of '74. I'd like to thank Jim and his family for the opportunity to say a few words. I'd like to thank the Fenn community and the organizers of tonight's tribute as well. In thanking Jim, I think he'd say, well, you know, you have to thank others as well for the journey. And I may have some of the history wrong, but I thought I'd start out by thanking the U.S. Army for the formative years in Turkey. And I think that might have been the time when it put Jim on the path to meeting Gene. I'd also like to thank America for the thousands of miles of roads that the Carter family traveled on every summer. I always enjoyed hearing the stories about almost running out of gas in the Grand Canyon or losing a kid at a rest stop or whatever. And finally, I'd like to thank the Fenn community and the many supporting characters in Jim's career, a few of which we just saw. A couple of names that come to mind: Reed Albright. I'd like to thank for not laughing too hard at my suggestion that the lantern needed an obituary section. I confused obituary with op-ed. Sorry, Reed. And I'd like to thank the Biscos for not being too upset for not feeding the cats for 3 days while they were away. And there are a few others. Wynn is here, Sergeant, Bill Purdy, Peter Hyde. Great to see all you guys. But now a few memories. It's amazing to me that I started my 4th grade year over 40 years ago. I think it was that year of 1969. And if I had to think about 69, 70, my primary memory would be that was the year Bobby Orr and the Big Bad Bruins won the Stanley Cup. Yeah! 40 years ago. So right up there with Bobby Orr in my life is Jim Carter. And I met Jim during his first year at Fenn, which I think was that shop class. Jim was a substitute teacher. Were you a substitute?
I just sat there.
Yeah, I know. We're getting to that point. But the first project in 4th grade shop was to make this 2x2 box, which was quite a struggle for me. While the other guys were on making lamps and bowls and all the rest of it, I was still on my box. And that's when I met Jim. He entered the scene wearing white slacks with red seahorses on them. He had a bushy mustache and hair a little on the long side. If you've seen that 70s show, it was that. Quite a switch from Mr. Davies. And it is correct that Jim did go right behind the desk and sit down and started reading his book. And I remember thinking it's definitely substitute teacher material. And this guy won't last too long at Fenn. That's important. Well, now it's 40 years later, and Jim's still here, and that's an amazing tribute. From shop, I was on to the 5th grade French, and I remember that Jim's style of teaching worked well. La règle, la fenêtre, lead by example. That was Jim. There was always a great sense of understanding from Jim and a quiet message that you can do better. I think this resonated with all of us and had a profound impact on our lives. As some of you may know, I grew up about a mile from Fenn, and my mother and father and Jim and Jean became good friends. And I think this is when I really got to know Jim and Jean, was when my family would go to Japan for several weeks at a time, and we'd stay at the Carters in Harvard. And during that time that I learned that Jim learned about 6 a.m. hockey practice, and I learned how to cut the lawn and pick the apple. I also used to ski or walk to school, and then some days my dog would follow me, and Jim was okay with that. And in fact, one day the dog threw up in Mr. Carter's history class. And then it was on to the months of canoe camp in Canada, and a few of us fortunate Fenn students spent 3 weeks in the rain of 4 in Canada. We also stitched up a counselor who cut himself in the hand with an axe. We put 11 stitches in this guy, and Jim said to me, "Your father's the doctor. Get in there and help out." Those are the exact words. So if there's one common theme for my friendship with Jim, it's that he's always ready to listen. Through life's ups and downs, Jim and Jean have been great friends and mentors. In closing, I want to note that any tribute is also a tribute to Jean and the entire Carter family. And we all look forward to many more stories of family trips, grandchildren, family gatherings. And it's been wonderful to be part of the 40-year journey, and we really look forward to the future. Thank you.